There are three things the medics won't tell me. First, when I'm getting cleared for duty. Second, what exactly the human girl did to my arm during those 4 seconds. And third, and this is the one that keeps me awake at night, why every time I close my eyes, all I see is her smile. My name is Threxnell, and 73 hours ago I made the worst mistake of my military career. I slapped a Deathworlder during sparring. Yeah, I know how that sounds. I'm Vorian. 7 feet tall, 4 arms, exoskeleton that can deflect plasma rounds. My species conquered 14 star systems before humans even discovered fire. We're literally classified as Class 4 combat species. We don't lose fights. We don't get injured in training, and we definitely don't end up in medical because a 5'6" blonde girl grabbed our wrist. But here I am. How's the arm today? Dr. Kilnix asks, his tentacles twitching in that way that means he already knows the answer and isn't happy about it. I flex my fingers. Still nothing. Define arm, because right now it feels more like a decorative appendage. Sensation should return, he says, not meeting my eyes. Eventually. Eventually, great. Super reassuring, Doc. I lean back on the medical bed. Should I start planning my new career as a 3-armed Vorian? I hear the comedy circuit is hiring. Kilnix doesn't laugh. He never laughs. Instead, he pulls up a holographic scan of my arm, and I swear his 3 hearts all skip a beat simultaneously. Threx, I need to ask you something, and I need you to be completely honest. Oh, this is going to be good. Shoot. During the incident, how hard would you say the human squeezed? I blink. All 4 eyes. She didn't squeeze hard. She just grabbed my wrist, held it. Maybe 4 seconds, Max. 4 seconds, he repeats, like I just told him I'd survived a supernova with a wet towel. Yeah, 4. Why are you looking at me like that? Here's what you need to understand, and trust me, this is important for what happens later. Vorian exoskeleton is military-grade organic armor. It takes sustained plasma fire to crack it. Multiple direct hits from weapons designed to kill. Sylvia Johnson cracked mine with her elbow. 1 hit during light sparring. But wait, it gets better. Let me take you back to where this disaster started. 73 hours ago. Training Bay 4. Standard Combat Assessment Day. 40 different species, all pretending we liked each other, all secretly convinced our species was superior. The humans had been part of the coalition for 6 months, 12 of them total. Unclassified species, which is military speak for we have no idea how dangerous these things are, but they seem friendly enough. Sylvia was the only human in my training group, small, blonde ponytail, smiled like she was always in on a joke nobody else understood. In hindsight, she absolutely was. Ready, Deathworlder. I'd said it as a joke. Everyone calls humans Deathworlders because Earth is classified as a Class 12 hazard world. Basically a spinning ball of things that will kill you. The gravity alone would crush most species. She'd grinned up at me. Ready when you are, buddy. Buddy, like we were going to grab drinks after. Now, I need you to understand something about Vorian combat training. We start fighting before we can walk. By the time we're adults, we've logged thousands of hours against species specifically bred for war. I wasn't being arrogant when I assumed I'd win. I was being realistic. Spoiler alert, I was catastrophically wrong. Supervisor Borp, this gelatinous blob of anxiety, burbled something about light contact only. I barely listened. I mean, come on. I outweighed her by 200 pounds. 4 arms versus 2. This wasn't going to be a fight. It was going to be a learning experience, for me, as it turns out. The match started, and I went easy on her. Textbook Vorian combination. Multiple angles calculated. Strikes. Overwhelming force. Nothing she could possibly defend against. She dodged everything. Not blocked, dodged, like she was reading my mind, like my fists were moving through molasses and she had all the time in the world to step around them. Then her elbow hit my chest plate. Crack! The sound echoed through the entire bay. Every species stopped and stared. In 200 years of Vorian military history, nobody had ever cracked our armor in training. In actual combat? Sure. With weapons? Absolutely. But barehanded in a sparring match? Impossible. Except Sylvia didn't get the memo about impossible. I staggered back, more from shock than pain, and my brain just short-circuited, panicked. I swung wild and stupid. My palm caught her across the face. And here's where you need to pay attention, because this is the moment that ruined my life. Sylvia didn't get angry, didn't stumble, didn't even blink. She touched her reddening cheek, examined her fingers like she was checking for blood, and then, I swear on every star in the void, she smiled. Not a grimace, not a warrior's grin. A genuine, delighted smile like I'd just given her the best news of her day. "Oh," she said, soft as a whisper, "you really shouldn't have done that." The temperature in the training bay dropped 10 degrees. Supervisor Borp started sweating, which, for a gelatinous species, is just deeply unsettling to watch. Sylvia moved. Not fast, not aggressive, just reached out with one hand, and grabbed my wrist, and squeezed. For 4 seconds, my entire world was pain, wrapped in confusion, with a side of, what the actual void is happening? Something shifted in my arm. Not breaking, not cracking. Worse. Like every nerve decided to go on permanent vacation. My legs gave out. I hit the floor, and the last thing I remember before passing out was Sylvia standing over me, head tilted, still smiling. "You good?" she'd asked. I was not good. I am still not good. "Threx," Dr. Kilnix waves a tentacle in front of my face. "You're doing it again." Doing what? The 1,000-yard stare, elevated heart rate, stress pheromones that could choke a Krellian. He sighs, all 3 hearts visible through his translucent chest. "I need to tell you something." My mandibles click nervously. "I don't like your tone. Your neurochemistry has been altered." "My what now?" "Your brain. Specifically, your threat assessment centers." He pulls up a scan that looks like a rainbow had a fight with a geometry textbook. "When I show you images of various species, your subconscious now categorizes humans as..." He pauses, checks the translation 3 times. "Apocalypse, tier predators, possible extinction event." I laugh. Can't help it. It sounds slightly unhinged. "That's insane." She barely comes up to my chest plate. "Your primitive brain has a different opinion. A very strong, very terrified opinion." "So what? I'm broken. Permanently." "I'm saying your instincts have been recalibrated." Before I can process this nightmare, the medical bay doors hiss open. Sylvia Johnson walks in. Every muscle in my body locks up. Fight or flight response? More like freeze and pray. She doesn't notice. You response. "Hey, Threx." She's carrying a data pad and wearing workout clothes like she just finished a light jog. Probably did. Probably jogged through a hazard course designed to kill people. For fun. "How's the arm?" I make a sound. Not words, just a sound. Dr. Kilnix clears his throat. Perhaps, "Oh, I'll be quick." Sylvia's smile brightens. "I just wanted to let you know I filed a formal grievance with the human embassy about the slap." The medical equipment beeps frantically. Might be monitoring my heart rate. Might be filing its own grievance. "You..." "What?" "Yeah." Turns out Ambassador Chen was super interested to learn this was the 4th time this month a human got smacked during training by someone who thought we couldn't fight back. She taps her datapad. So she invoked Protocol 47, subsection 12. Dr. Kilnix makes a noise like a dying star. "What's Protocol 47? I whisper. Sylvia's grin could cut through starship plating. "It means humanity gets automatic entry into the interspecies combat trials. In 6 days. My world tilts sideways. And since I'm the human who got assaulted, I get to compete. She turns to leave, pauses at the door. "See you in the arena, Threx. I promise to go easy on you this time." "This time?" My voice cracks. "What do you mean this time?" "Oh, right. Should probably mention, that thing in the training bay? That wasn't me going hard. That was me being polite." The door hisses shut. Silence. Then, "Doc?" "Yes, Threx?" "I don't think I'm ever getting cleared for duty." The medical scanner beeps. My heart rate just entered the medically concerning zone. And I still don't know what she actually did to my arm. But something tells me I'm about to find out. In 6 days. In front of the entire coalition, against a human who thought breaking my exoskeleton was being polite. I am so unbelievably screwed. Hi guys, welcome to HFY Sci-Fi Stories. Enjoying the story? Do like, share, and subscribe to this channel. It helps us bring more amazing stories for your enjoyment. Now, back to the story. You know what's worse than being stuck in medical for 3 days straight, having a roommate, and not just any roommate, Karach, 8 feet of scales, claws, and the personality of a malfunctioning waste disposal unit, Vendaxian, Class 5 combat species, 1 whole tier above Vorians, which he reminded me of approximately every 14 minutes. "Still can't feel your arm," Karach hissed from the bed next to mine, his regeneration cast covering his entire right side. Pathetic. "Still can't sit up without whimpering," I shot back. "Oh wait, that's you. Right now. Whimpering." His scales rippled. Vendaxian for I'm about to say something stupid, but my pride won't let me stop. The Deathworlder got lucky. Nothing more. Dr. Kilnix, organizing medical supplies in the corner, dropped a scanner. Just straight up, dropped it. Lucky, right. Is that what we're calling getting folded into a cafeteria wall like a failed origami project? What else would you call it? Karach shifted, winced, whimpered again. "She's human, unclassified. Probably just some Deathworld reflex." "You grabbed her first," I interrupted. "During lunch, while she was eating." "I wasn't ready." "You literally initiated combat. She didn't even stand up." Karach's voice cracked. "What kind of apex predator doesn't even stand up?" Here's the thing about Karach, and I need you to understand this because it explains so much. Vendaxians are proud, stupid, proud. The kind of proud where common sense goes to die. 24 hours after my incident with Sylvia, Karach decided Vorians were just soft and that he'd prove humans weren't that dangerous by ambushing one during lunch. I'm sharing a medical bay with a genius, folks. Want to hear the best part? Dr. Kilnix pulled up security footage. The cafeteria incident is now required viewing for all new coalition recruits. Karach's scales flushed dark red. "That's not necessary." "Oh, it's very necessary." Kilnix hit play. There was Karach, strutting into Cafeteria Delta 7 like he owned the place. Sylvia sat alone, eating protein paste that looked like sad beige regret. Past Karach grabbed her shoulder. His claws, designed to pierce starship hulls, drew blood. Sylvia didn't even look up. "You have 3 seconds to remove your hand. 1. Karach squeezed harder. "Or what, little?" 2. What happened next occurred so fast, the security camera only caught a blur. 1 frame, Karach standing, looking smug. Next frame, Karach horizontal, embedded 3 inches into a reinforced wall, arm bent at an angle that made geometry cry. Sylvia took another spoonful of protein paste. "I said 3 seconds. These aliens have no patience." The cafeteria exploded into chaos. Sylvia just kept eating. Dr. Kilnick's paused the video. My favorite part is how she never dropped the spoon. I don't want to talk about it, Karach mumbled. Oh, we're talking about it, I said. You called Vorians soft, then got yourself wallpapered by a girl eating lunch. At least I tried. You just slapped her and collapsed. I didn't collapse. I tactically repositioned myself to the floor. Gentlemen, we both shut up. Dr. Kilnick's doesn't yell often. When he does, it's serious. The medical bay doors opened. Captain Zerath walked in, looking like he'd had 17 cups of coffee, and they'd all failed him. Sir, I straightened, we were just reviewing your mistakes. I know. Zerath pulled up a holographic display. Unfortunately, you two aren't unique. In 73 hours, 17 coalition members have been hospitalized after testing the human. My mandibles clicked. 17? 17 idiots from 9 different species. Zerath started pacing. Never good. The Coalition Council arrives in 5 days for the interspecies combat trials. Instead of our best warriors, I have a medical bay full of bruised egos and a human girl who's hospitalized more people than our combat scenarios. Sir, with respect, I said carefully, maybe we just avoid her? She's entering the combat trials, officially, thanks to Protocol 47. Karach sat up too fast, yelped. She's what? Protocol 47, subsection 12. Ambassador Chen was very thorough. Zerath pulled up documentation. And she's not entering alone. The temperature dropped. What do you mean? I asked, dreading the answer. Zerath pulled up a personnel file. My blood turned to ice. Sergeant Marcus Williams, 6'8", 260 pounds of muscle and bad decisions. Scars everywhere. Combat record that read like a fever dream. 2-time Earth MMA heavyweight champion, Marine Corps hand-to-hand instructor. Current assignment, personal security for Coalition Human Liaison. Sylvia's brother. He arrives in 4 hours, Zerath said quietly. Karach made a sound like a deflating balloon. Ambassador Chen assures me Sergeant Williams is a professional. He won't cause problems. And the bad news? He's read all the incident reports, and he's not happy about his sister being slapped. I started laughing, couldn't help it. Slightly unhinged, definitely panicked. Something funny, Threxnall. Sir, with absolute respect, we are so completely doomed. Probably, Zerath agreed, which is why I need you both cleared for duty as soon as possible. What? Karach and I said simultaneously. You're entering the trials, both of you. Sir, I can't feel my arm. 72 more hours, Dr. Kilnick says. Sir, I can barely sit up. Then practice lying down. You'll need it. Zerath moved toward the door. You two started this mess. You represent everything wrong with how we've approached humans. Assumptions, arrogance, stupidity. So you're going to finish it. By getting destroyed in front of the entire coalition, I asked. By learning, the galaxy needs to understand what humans are. He paused at the door. Oh, and gentlemen, Sylvia requested you both specifically as her first opponents. The medical monitoring equipment started beeping frantically. She what? Karach squeaked. She said, they started this dance, might as well finish it properly. Zerath smiled. Barely. She also said she'd go easy on you. The door closed. Silence, then Karach. I want to request a transfer. Denied, came Zerath's voice through the intercom. Focus on healing. You've got 5 days. The intercom clicked off. I stared at the ceiling. Karach stared at the wall he'd recently been embedded in. Threx. Yeah? We're going to die, aren't we? Probably. Not die. Humans seem to prefer non-lethal humiliation. That's worse. He wasn't wrong. Somewhere on this station, a 6'8" human was arriving to avenge his sister, who didn't need avenging. I still couldn't feel my arm. 5 days until the trials, 4 hours until Big Brother arrived, and absolutely zero chance any of this ended well for us. My brain had recategorized humans as extinction-level threats. Turns out, my brain was an optimist. Marcus Williams arrived exactly 4 hours later, and I knew because the entire station felt it. Not metaphorically, literally felt it. The docking bay's proximity alarms went off. Emergency protocols activated, and Captain Zerath's voice came through every speaker on the station with a single word, brace. I was in physical therapy. Well, therapy is generous. Mostly Dr. Kilnick's shocking my arm with electrical pulses while I tried not to scream. "What's happening?" I asked as the station shuddered. Kilnick's checked his datapad. All 3 hearts stopped. Just stopped. Then started again. Way too fast. The human transport just docked. Manual override. They didn't wait for automated berth alignment. They what? The pilot flew a military transport into our docking bay like it was a personal shuttle, 40-ton vessel, clearance of 6 inches on both sides. He pulled up the docking footage. Perfect approach, zero margin for error, absolutely insane. On screen, I watched a human pilot thread a massive ship through our docking bay with the kind of precision that suggested either incredible skill or a complete disregard for physics, maybe both. The transport settled, the airlock engaged. "Who's the pilot?" I asked. Kilnick's checked the manifest, went very still. "Sergeant Marcus Williams." "He flew his own transport?" "He flew his own transport through an approach that requires 3 certified pilots and an AI assist." Kilnick's tentacles drooped. "Threx, I think we need to recalibrate what we think humans are capable of." I recalibrated 3 days ago. My brain literally recalibrated itself. Recalibrate again. The medical bay doors opened. Karach limped in from his own therapy session, scales pale. "Did you feel that landing?" "Everyone felt that landing," I said. "That wasn't a landing, that was a threat." Karach collapsed onto his bed. That was him saying, "I'm here and I don't care about your safety protocols." He wasn't wrong. Here's what you need to understand about the next 6 hours, and pay attention because this is where things got weird. Marcus Williams didn't immediately hunt us down, didn't storm the medical bay demanding satisfaction, didn't even ask where his sister was. He went to the gym, the station's main combat training facility, alone, at 0200 hours. We knew because the overnight security officer, a Klaxian named Borp, 2, Borp's cousin, terrible coincidence, sent out a station-wide alert. Human male in Training Bay 1. Advise extreme. Caution. Possibly hostile. Definitely terrifying. Karach and I looked at each other. "We should stay here," Karach said. "Absolutely," I agreed. We were in Training Bay 1's observation deck 10 minutes later. Listen, when someone flies a 40-ton ship through a 6-inch clearance to avenge their sister, you don't ignore them. You gather intelligence, you assess the threat, you figure out exactly how doomed you are. Turns out, very doomed. Marcus Williams stood in the center of the training bay, wearing simple gray workout clothes that did absolutely nothing to hide the fact that he was built like violence, decided to take human form. 6'8", shoulders that could have been used as a landing pad, arms covered in scars that told stories I didn't want to hear, and a face that suggested smiling was something other people did. He was stretching, just stretching. "Maybe he's not that bad," Karach whispered. "Maybe Sylvia got all the dangerous genes." Marcus stopped. Stretching. Looked directly at the observation window. We both ducked. "He can't see us," I hissed. "Reinforced one-way glass, completely opaque from his side." Marcus smiled. Not friendly. the kind of smile that suggested he knew exactly where we were and was deciding whether we were worth the effort. Then he spoke, voice carrying clearly through the bay's audio system. "Computer, load combat scenario, difficulty Omega level, opponents 15, environmental hazards maximum." The same simulation that nearly killed his sister when the safety protocols failed. He was running it voluntarily. "Oh, void," Karach breathed. The simulation activated. 15 hostile holograms materialized, Krellian shock troops, the same ones designed to break veteran soldiers. The environment shifted into a collapsing station, complete with plasma fire, gravity wells, and radiation that would kill most species in minutes. Marcus cracked his knuckles. What happened next made my brain hurt. Where Sylvia had been efficient, Marcus was brutal. Where she'd been precise, he was overwhelming. She dodged plasma fire. He charged through it, using environmental cover I didn't even know existed. A holographic Krellian came at him with a plasma blade. Marcus caught the blade, the actual blade with his hand, twisted, and used the Krellian's own momentum to throw him into 2 others. "That's not possible," Karach said. "That blade would cut through reinforced armor. It's a hologram." "He doesn't know that." "Fair point." Marcus moved through the scenario like he'd designed it. Every enemy position predicted, every hazard used as a weapon. When a gravity well opened, the kind that could crush titanium, he used it to slingshot himself across the bay, taking out 3 opponents mid-flight. The whole thing took him 4 minutes. 4. When it ended, he wasn't even breathing hard. "Computer," he said calmly, "increase difficulty by 500%. Add 30 opponents. Remove. Safety margins." "Holy void, he's insane," I whispered. The simulation restarted. This time it was genuinely trying to kill him. Marcus smiled wider. And here's the thing that broke my brain. He was better when it was harder, like he needed the challenge to actually focus. The plasma fire got hotter. He moved faster. The gravity wells got stronger. He used them more creatively. At one point, a holographic Krellian shot him in the shoulder. Direct hit. Would have punched through standard armor. Marcus looked at his shoulder, looked at the Krellian, and said, "Rude." Then he proceeded to dismantle that Krellian with such casual efficiency that I think Karach actually whimpered. "Thrax," Karach whispered. "We slapped his sister." "I'm aware." "We made her bleed." "Also aware." "We're going to die." "Increasingly aware." The simulation ended. 30 opponents down. Marcus standing in the center, barely winded, surrounded by flickering holograms that looked offended by their own defeat. "Computer, one more time. 60 opponents. Maximum everything." Karach grabbed my arm, the numb one, fortunately. "We need to leave, now." Agreed. We made it to the door before Marcus's voice stopped us cold. "Leaving so soon?" We turned slowly. Marcus stood at the observation window, looking directly at us through the opaque glass, still smiling that not smile. "The glass is one way," I said weakly. "For most species." He tapped the window. "Humans see thermal signatures. You two light up like distress beacons." He tilted his head. "You're the ones who hurt my sister." Not a question. A statement. "It was a misunderstanding," Karach said quickly. "A training accident. We didn't mean—" "She told me you'd say that." Marcus crossed his arms. Those terrifying, scarred, could probably bend starship hull plating arms. "She also said you were funny, entertaining, that I should go easy on you in the trials." Hope flickered. "But here's my problem." His smile vanished. "My sister, my brilliant, capable, way too forgiving sister, came back to quarters with a bruise on her face from a slap during what was supposed to be light sparring." The hope died. So here's what's going to happen. In 5 days, we're going into that arena. You, me, Sylvia, and whoever else the coalition throws at us. And I'm going to make sure the entire galaxy understands something very important. What's that? I asked, though I really didn't want to know. Marcus's smile returned, worse than before. Humans don't start fights, but we always finish them. The observation deck suddenly felt very small. Now, Marcus said cheerfully, "You two should get some sleep. Big day coming up, lots of training, lots of learning." He turned back to the training bay. "Computer, restart scenario, 60 opponents, and make them smarter this time." We ran. Not walked, not hurried, ran. Behind us, the sounds of simulated combat and one human's laughter echoed through the station. Karach and I made it back to medical, slammed the door, and stood there breathing hard. "Doc," I called out. Dr. Kilnix emerged from his office. "You went to watch him, didn't you?" "Yes." "And?" "We're doomed," Karach and I said together. "Figured." Kilnix pulled up his medical scanner. "Good news, your arm's recovering faster than expected. The electrical therapy is working. And the bad news? You'll be fully healed in time for the trials." He looked genuinely sympathetic, "which means you'll be conscious for whatever happens." I stared at my arm. Sensation was returning, slowly, painfully, 5 days until the trials. 2 humans who could end us without breaking a sweat, and we'd be fully recovered just in time to experience it. My brain tried to recategorize the threat level, gave up, just labeled the whole situation as certain doom, and called it a day. Somewhere in Training Bay 1, Marcus Williams was still running combat scenarios. For fun, we were so unbelievably screwed. The next morning, I woke up to find 17 get well messages on my datapad from 17 different species, all hospitalized by the same human. We'd formed a support group, unofficially, the I Tested a Human and Regret Everything Club. Catchy name, still pending. Karach was reading his messages too. Vexathala says she tried to arm wrestle Sylvia. How'd that go? 3. Broken fingers and a newfound respect for Deathworld grip strength. He scrolled further. Oh, this one's good. Raxton challenged her to a staring contest. And lasted 4 minutes before his eyes started bleeding. Apparently, humans don't need to blink as often as we thought. I pulled up my own messages. Kreenax tried to sneak up on her during night shift. Bold strategy. She caught him by the throat without looking, while reading, a physical book made of paper. Karach's scales rippled. Why would anyone make books out of dead trees? That's what you're focused on? Not the fact she has spatial awareness in a complete sphere around her body. I'm focusing on things that make sense. It's a short list. Dr. Kilnix entered with his morning scanner routine, but something was different. His tentacles weren't twitching. His hearts weren't racing. He looked calm. Never good. How are we feeling today, gentlemen? Doomed, I said. Terrified, Karach added. Excellent. That means the neural recalibration is working. Kilnix ran the scanner over my arm. Good news, full sensation restored. You're at 90% functionality. I flexed my fingers. He was right. Everything worked. Everything hurt, but it worked. Bad news, I asked, because there's always bad news. Captain Zerath wants you both in Training Bay 3 in 20 minutes. Karach sat up so fast, his regeneration cast cracked. For what? Preparation. You've got 4 days until the trials. The captain thinks you should at least know what you're getting into. We know what we're getting into, I protested. Humiliation, pain, possibly death. Not death, Kilnix corrected. Humans have very strict rules about killing in sanctioned combat. You'll just wish you were dead. So much better. 20 minutes later, Karach and I stood in Training Bay 3, wearing full combat gear and feeling like we were about to meet our ancestors. Captain Zerath was there. So was Supervisor Borp. And standing between them, looking like she'd just finished a morning jog through a supernova, was Sylvia Johnson. She waved. Actually waved. "Hey guys, feeling better?" My brain screamed contradictory instructions. Run, fight, apologize, fake your own death, all simultaneously. I managed. "He's working on it," Karach translated. "Words are hard right now." Sylvia smiled. That smile, the one that made my threat assessment centers file emergency reports. Captain Zerath thought it might help if we trained together before the trials. You know, so you're not going in completely blind. "That's thoughtful," I tried. "I thought so." She stretched her arms. "Marcus wanted to come, but I told him this should be just us. You know, keep it friendly." Friendly. Right. Because the last time we'd been friendly, I'd ended up with a numb arm and existential dread. Captain Zerath cleared his throat. "The purpose of this session is education. You two represent a common problem. In the coalition, assumption based on classification rather than observation. Humans are unclassified because we don't understand them yet." "We're starting to," Karach muttered. "No, you're not." Zerath pulled up a holographic display. "You know humans are dangerous. You don't know why, you don't know how, and you certainly don't know the limits." "Do they have limits?" I asked. Sylvia laughed. "Of course we do. I mean, I can't breathe underwater. Probably. Haven't tried in a while." "Probably?" "Here's what's going to happen," Zerath continued. "Sylvia is going to demonstrate basic human combat capabilities. You two are going to observe, learn, and maybe survive the trials with your dignity intact." "Our dignity left 3 days ago," Karach said. "Then retrieve it. You'll need it." Zerath gestured to Sylvia. "Whenever you're ready." Sylvia cracked her knuckles. "Okay, so, first thing you should know about humans, we're persistence hunters." "We know," said. "Deathworld evolution. You chased prey until it collapsed from exhaustion." "Right, but here's what that actually means in combat." She started walking, just walking, slow, steady circles around us. "We don't get tired the way you do. Our cardiovascular system is insane. Our cooling system, sweating, is stupidly efficient. We can maintain activity levels that would kill most species for hours, days if we're motivated." She wasn't even breathing hard, just walking. But something about the way she moved made every instinct I had scream danger. "Second thing, and this is important, humans are adaptable, like stupid adaptable." She stopped, faced us. "You know what the survival rate is for most species dropped into a random biome on their own planet?" 60%, Karach guessed. "For humans, 95%. We can survive almost anywhere. Desert, tundra, jungle, ocean. We're not specialized. We're generalized, which means we can handle pretty much anything." Captain Zerath pulled up footage. "This is Sylvia's first week on the station. Watch her movement." The video showed Sylvia navigating corridors, clearly new, clearly uncertain, bumping into door frames designed for species with different spatial awareness. "Now watch week 2. Different footage. Sylvia moving smoothly, efficiently, like she'd been on the station for years. "She adapted," Zerath said. "Full adaptation in 14 days. Most species take months. Some never fully adapt to non-native environments." "Okay, that's mildly terrifying," I admitted. "Third thing." Sylvia held up 3 fingers. "And this is the fun one. Humans have this thing called an adrenaline response." "We know about adrenaline," Karach said. "Combat stimulant. Most species have it. Not like us." Sylvia's smile turned predatory. "When humans perceive a threat, our bodies dump chemicals that temporarily override pain, increase strength, sharpen focus, and basically turn us into better versions of ourselves. It's called hysterical strength. How much stronger? I asked, not sure I wanted the answer. Normal human can lift maybe 150 pounds overhead. Under adrenaline, we've lifted cars off trapped people, ripped doors off hinges, broken restraints designed to hold people twice our size. The training bay went very quiet. And here's the kicker. We can trigger it voluntarily with training, which every human in the coalition military has. Oh no. Computer, Sylvia called out. Load training scenario. 3 combat drones. Standard difficulty. 3 holographic drones materialized. Standard anti-personnel models. Plasma weapons. Tactical AI. Designed to challenge trained soldiers. Watch, she said. The drones attacked. Coordinated fire, multiple angles, textbook tactics. Sylvia moved. Not like in the sparring match, not like in the cafeteria. This was different. Controlled, educational. She wanted us to see every movement, understand every choice. She dodged the first plasma bolt by centimeters. Close enough that I saw the air shimmer from the heat. Humans have incredible reaction times, she narrated while moving, especially under stress. We process threats faster than most species. Second drone fired. She dropped, rolled, came up behind it. We're also ambush predators. We like flanking, misdirection, using the environment. She grabbed the drone, holographic but programmed to react like real hardware, and used it as a shield against the third drone's fire. And we're tool users. Everything is a weapon if you're creative enough. She threw the damaged drone at another, then swept the legs out from under the third, using a move I'd never seen in any combat manual. All 3 drones down, 20 seconds total. Sylvia wasn't even breathing hard. That was standard human performance, she said. No adrenaline boost, no actual danger, just me, baseline, showing you the basics. Karach raised a shaking claw. What's non-baseline look like? Sylvia's expression softened. Honestly, I don't want to show you that. Not here. Not yet. She looked at Captain Zerath. They're not ready. They need to be ready in 4 days, Zerath said. Then we train. Sylvia turned back to us. Here's the deal. You 2 are entering those trials whether you like it or not. And yeah, you're going to lose, but you don't have to get destroyed. You can lose with dignity, maybe even learn something. Learn what? I asked. How to get beaten up more efficiently. Learn how to survive us. Her tone shifted. Serious now, because humans aren't going away. We're part of the coalition now, and more humans are coming. Lots more. So you can either figure out how to work with us, or you can keep testing us and ending up in medical. She had a point. A terrifying, undeniable point. So what do you say? Sylvia extended her hand. Human gesture, offering peace. Want to actually train? For real? I looked at Karach. He looked at me. We looked at Sylvia's hand. If we do this, I said slowly, will you promise not to break anything? I promise not to break anything permanently. That's not reassuring. It's the best you're getting. Fair enough. I reached out, took her hand. Her grip was firm, warm, human, absolutely terrifying. All right, she said, grinning. Let's teach you 2 how to fight a human and maybe not embarrass yourselves completely. Karach groaned. This is going to hurt, isn't it? Oh, definitely, Sylvia agreed. But you'll learn so much. 4 days until the trials. And we were about to get crash course training from the thing our brains had reclassified as an extinction event. On the bright side, at least we'd be prepared. On the not bright side, everything else. Training with Sylvia Johnson was exactly as painful as I'd imagined, and somehow worse. Day 1, she taught us how to fall, just falling, for 6 hours. Humans spend a lot of time falling, she explained while I picked myself up off the mat for the 47th time. We're bipedal, top-heavy, and our center of gravity is terrible, so we got really, really good at not dying when we hit the ground. I have 4 arms, I wheezed. I don't fall. You will when Marcus hits you. Fair point. Cratch was doing better than me, mostly because Vendaxians are lower to the ground. Also because he'd stopped questioning Sylvia after she demonstrated a basic breakfall by having Captain Zerath throw her across the training bay. She'd landed, rolled, and come up smiling. Zerath had looked disturbed. That should have broken ribs. Probably did once, Sylvia said cheerfully. You build up tolerance. Day 2 was dodging. Humans are not fast in a straight line, Sylvia narrated while pelting us with training balls. Soft ones. That still hurt. Most species can outrun us, but we can change direction faster than almost anything. She proved it by having the computer track her movement pattern, zigzags, circles, random vector changes that made the tracking algorithm glitch out. Our ankles, knees, and hips are insanely flexible. We can pivot on a credit chip. A ball hit my face. Eyes up, Threx. Humans also track movement really well. Predator eyes, front-facing, depth perception. We see you before you see us. Another ball. This one hit Karach. And we throw things. Humans are the only species that evolved persistence hunting and projectile weapons. We can hit targets at range while moving. Do you know how rare that is? She threw 3 balls simultaneously. All 3 hit. I was learning so much, mostly about pain. Day 3, she brought Marcus. Oh, void no, Karach said when the human mountain walked into the training bay. Relax, Marcus said, which was easy for him to say because he wasn't the one who'd slapped his sister. I'm just here to demonstrate partnered tactics. Humans fight alone, I protested. Ambush predators, solo hunters. Sometimes, Sylvia agreed, but we also pack hunt. And when humans work together... She looked at her brother. Want to show them? What happened next redefined my understanding of coordinated combat. Marcus and Sylvia moved like they shared a brain. No communication, no signals. Just perfect, terrifying synchronization. When one went high, the other went low. When one drew attention, the other flanked. They ran a combat scenario designed for a 6-person team, just the 2 of them, cleared it in 3 minutes. Humans develop pack tactics naturally, Marcus explained, while I tried to process what I'd just witnessed. Family units, tribes, military squads. We're wired to work together, trust each other, cover each other's weaknesses. What weaknesses? Karach asked. I haven't seen any. Sylvia laughed. Oh, we have plenty. I'm not great at long-range combat. Marcus has a bad knee from a training accident. We both need oxygen to breathe, water to drink, food to eat. We're not invincible. You seem pretty invincible, I muttered. We're just prepared. She pulled up a holographic display. Here's the thing about humans. We plan for failure. Every combat scenario, we assume something will go wrong. Equipment fails, tactics don't work, allies go down, so we train for worst-case scenarios. The display showed human military training. It looked like organized chaos. Soldiers fighting in darkness, underwater, in zero gravity, with broken equipment, outnumbered, outgunned. We practice being uncomfortable, Marcus added, being scared, being hurt, because that's when it matters most, when everything's going wrong and you have to keep moving anyway. He looked directly at me. That slap in training? That's nothing. In real combat, worse things happen. The question is, can you keep fighting after? Could I? I honestly didn't know. Day 4, our last day before the trials, Sylvia changed tactics. No more demonstrations, she announced. Today you two fight me. For real. Karach and I exchanged glances. Both of us? I asked. At the same time? Yep. 2-on-1. You can use any tactics you want, any techniques. Goal is simple. Land one hit, just one. Do that and you'll survive the trials. And if we can't, Karach asked, then tomorrow's going to be really educational. She stretched. Computer, load basic combat arena. No weapons. Hand-to-hand only. The training bay transformed into a simple ring. Padded floor. Clear boundaries. Nowhere to hide. Sylvia stood in the center, relaxed, waiting. Whenever you're ready, she said. Karach looked at me. Strategy. Hit her once. Don't die. Brilliant plan. We approached from different angles. Coordination, pack tactics, everything she'd taught us. Sylvia smiled. Then she moved. I'm not going to describe the next 4 minutes in detail because, honestly, my memory gets fuzzy. Survival instinct, probably. Brain protecting itself from trauma. Here's what I remember. Karach went left. I went right. Pincer movement. Textbook. Sylvia somehow ended up behind both of us. We adjusted. Tried to corner her. Use our reach advantage. 4 of my arms. 4 of Karach's arms. Versus her, too. She used our arms against us. Grabbed my wrist. Redirected my momentum into Karach. We collided. She wasn't even there anymore. We tried feints. Misdirection. All the tricks she'd taught us. She'd taught us those tricks. She knew all the counters. At one point, Karach actually managed to grab her shoulder. Victory, right? Wrong. She did something with her weight, her balance, and suddenly Karach was airborne. Not thrown, just redirected. He landed on me. We went down in a tangle of limbs and regret. You're thinking too much, Sylvia called out. Stop trying to out-technique me. You can't. I've been training since I was 6. Just react. Use your instincts. Instincts? Right. My instincts were screaming, flee. But we couldn't flee. Not from this. Not from tomorrow. So we tried again. And again. And again. By the 10th attempt, we weren't trying to win anymore. We were just trying to understand. How did she move like that? How did she always know where we'd be? Humans read body language. She explained during a water break I desperately needed. Micro-expressions, weight shifts, eye movement. We evolved to understand each other without words. It works on other species, too. That's not fair, I panted. No, she agreed. It's not. But combat isn't fair. The trials won't be fair. Life isn't fair. She offered me a water container. But you can still win. Just not the way you think. What does that mean? You'll figure it out tomorrow, she smiled. Not predatory this time. Almost encouraging. You've both improved. A lot. 4 days ago, I'd have hospitalized you in seconds. Today, you lasted 4 minutes. That's progress. We didn't land a single hit. Karach pointed out. Not yet, but you will. She stood, stretched. Tomorrow, in front of the entire coalition, you're going to surprise everyone, including yourselves. How? I asked. By remembering what I told you on day 1. Humans aren't invincible. We just prepare better. She headed toward the exit. Get some rest. Tomorrow's going to be intense. She left. Karach and I sat on the training mat, exhausted, bruised, and somehow less terrified than we'd been 4 days ago. Threx, yeah? Do you think we can actually do this? I thought about the last 4 days, the falling, the dodging, the coordinated tactics, everything Sylvia and Marcus had shown us. I think we're going to lose, I said honestly, but maybe we don't have to lose badly. That's not inspiring. It's realistic. Karach laughed, tired but genuine. You know what? I'll take it. We helped each other up. 4 days of training, 4 days of learning that humans weren't just dangerous, they were skilled, prepared, adaptable. And tomorrow, the entire galaxy would see what that meant, the interspecies combat trials. Against 2 humans who'd hospitalized 17 coalition members without trying, my arm was fully healed. Karach's regeneration cast was off. We were as ready as we'd ever be, which is to say, not ready at all, but at least we'd learned how to fall properly. Something told me we'd need that skill, a lot. The interspecies combat trials arena held 10,000 spectators. Every single seat was filled. I stood in the preparation area with Karach, listening to the roar of the crowd, and tried not to throw up. 4 days of training hadn't prepared me for this. Nothing could prepare anyone for this. "Breathe," Karach said, which was rich coming from someone whose scales had gone pale white. "Just breathe." I am breathing, aggressively, possibly hyperventilating. Captain Zerath appeared in the doorway, looking almost apologetic. 5 minutes. You're up first." "First?" I squeaked. "Why are we first?" The Coalition Council wanted to make a statement. Human integration, cross-species cooperation, unity. He paused. Also, ticket sales went up 4,000% when they announced humans would compete. You're the opening act. "We're going to die for entertainment," Karach said flatly. "You're going to learn for education," Zerath corrected. "Remember what Sylvia taught you. Remember why you're here." "Why were we here?" "Oh, right. Because I'd slapped a human and ended up in medical for 3 days. Because 17 other beings had tested a Deathworlder and regretted it. Because the galaxy needed to understand what humans actually were. No pressure." The preparation door opened. Sylvia walked in wearing simple combat gear, hair tied back, looking like she was about to take a casual jog. Behind her, Marcus filled the doorway like a particularly muscular eclipse. "Hey, guys!" Sylvia's smile was genuine, encouraging, terrifying. "Ready?" "No," Karach and I said together. "Perfect. That means your adrenaline is pumping. Use it." She looked at both of us seriously. "Remember, this isn't about winning. It's about showing the galaxy what you've learned. 4 days ago, you couldn't last 30 seconds against me. Today, you're going to surprise everyone." "How?" I asked. "By doing exactly what I taught you. Work together, use your advantages, and most importantly," she grinned, "make me work for it." Marcus stepped forward, and I instinctively backed up. Couldn't help it. He noticed. His expression softened slightly. "Threx, Karach, I'm not going to lie. You're going to lose today. Badly, probably. But that slap 4 days ago, I've already forgotten about it." "Really?" Hope flickered. "No, I'm absolutely still mad." His smile was terrifying. "But I respect that you showed up, that you trained, that you're standing here instead of requesting a transfer to another galaxy." He extended his hand. "So after I'm done kicking your asses, we're even. Deal?" I looked at his hand, looked at Karach, looked at the hand again, took it. His grip could have crushed tritanium. He kept it gentle. "Deal," I managed. "Good." Marcus released my hand. "Now get out there and show them what 4 days with a human trainer looks like." The announcement system crackled. Competitors to the arena, Round 1, Threxnel and Karach versus Sylvia Johnson and Marcus Williams. Integration demonstration match. This was it. Karach and I walked into the arena, and the crowd went absolutely insane. Cheering, chanting, species I'd never heard of screaming in languages I didn't understand. The arena was massive, 50 meters in diameter, reinforced walls, energy barriers to protect spectators, medical teams standing by because of course they were. In the center, Sylvia and Marcus waited. The announcer's voice boomed. "This exhibition match demonstrates human combat capabilities and cross-species tactical integration. Combatants, show respect, show skill, and remember, this is education, not elimination. Tell that to my survival instincts." The bell rang. Marcus moved first. "Here's what you need to understand about the next 8 minutes. And yes, we actually lasted 8 minutes, which Sylvia later told me was impressive. Marcus didn't charge, didn't rush, just walked toward us with the kind of calm purpose that suggested this was already over and we just didn't know it yet. Karach and I split up, practiced coordination. I went right, he went left, forcing Marcus to choose. He chose me. I remember day one, how to fall. Rolled left as his fist passed through where my head had been, felt the air pressure. That punch would have ended me. Came up, saw Sylvia intercepting Karach. She wasn't going easy, but she wasn't destroying him either, testing him, pushing him, making him work, teaching. Marcus came at me again. 3-hit combination, high, low, middle. I blocked 2, barely. The third caught my ribs, not full force. Pulled punch. Still felt like getting hit by a small shuttle. Good block, Marcus said. Actually said that while fighting. But you're telegraphing your movements. Tighten up. He was coaching me. During combat, in front of 10,000 spectators. I tried to process that, failed, focused on not dying instead. Karach managed to dodge Sylvia's sweep kick, day 2 training, dodging, and actually landed a glancing blow on her shoulder. The crowd gasped. Sylvia grinned. Nice! You're learning. Then she swept his legs anyway, but slower than she could have, giving him time to practice the breakfall. He landed properly, rolled, came up defensive. The crowd cheered. For us, for actually surviving more than 30 seconds. Marcus and I exchanged blows. Well, he threw blows. I desperately tried to not get hit by all of them, managed to dodge maybe 40%. Day 2 was paying off. You're thinking too much, Marcus said, echoing his sister. React. Trust your training. Training. Right. 4 days of falling, dodging, coordinating. I caught Karach's eye across the arena. He nodded. We'd practiced this. Pincer movement. Both of us on Sylvia. She was smaller, maybe easier to... Nope. She saw it coming. Dropped low, and somehow we collided with each other while she wasn't even there anymore. The crowd laughed. Not mocking, appreciative. We were trying. Failing, but trying. Better, Sylvia called out. Your coordination improved. But I taught you that move, remember? I know all the counters. She was right. Everything we tried, she'd taught us, which meant she knew exactly how to beat it. Unless... Karach, I shouted. Day 4, instincts. He understood immediately. We stopped using techniques, stopped thinking, just moved, messy, uncoordinated, completely unpredictable because we didn't know what we were doing either. It almost worked. Karach's wild swing actually made Sylvia duck. My desperate tackle almost connected before Marcus caught me. Mid-air and gently, relatively, redirected me into the arena floor. Now you're getting it, Sylvia laughed. Unpredictability, creativity, that's what I wanted to see. 6 minutes in. I was exhausted. Karach was limping. We'd landed maybe 3 glancing blows total. But we were still standing. Marcus and Sylvia regrouped at the center, exchanged a look, some silent human communication. All right, Marcus announced. You two have done well, showed improvement, showed courage. Now it's time for the finale. Oh, no. The council wanted to see full human combat capability, Sylvia added. So we're going to stop holding back. Ready? Wait, you were holding back, Karach yelped. They moved. What happened before was a gentle training exercise. This was a demonstration. Marcus came at me with speed I couldn't track, strength I couldn't match, precision that made my 4-day training look like kindergarten, but I remembered. Day 1, how to fall without breaking. Hit the ground, rolled, came up, got hit again, fell better this time, rolled smoother. Each time I went down, I got back up faster. The crowd was going insane, not because we were winning, because we weren't giving up. Across the arena, Karach was doing the same with Sylvia, taking hits, falling, rolling, standing, again and again. We lasted another 2 minutes, felt like hours. Finally, Marcus caught me in a hold I couldn't break. Sylvia had Karach pinned similarly. The bell rang. Match over. We'd lost, obviously, spectacularly, but somehow the crowd was standing, cheering, not for the humans who'd won, for us, for showing up, for trying. Marcus released me, helped me up. 8 minutes against 2 humans going 70%, that's impressive. Felt like 70% would have killed us, I wheezed. 70% is us being careful not to kill you, Sylvia corrected, helping Karach to his feet. Full capability would have been over in seconds. She looked at the crowd, then back at us. But you showed them what matters. Humans aren't unbeatable. We're just prepared. And now you are too. The announcer's voice boomed. Let's hear it for all 4 competitors, demonstrating that with proper training, mutual respect, and cooperation, any species can stand alongside humanity. The crowd went wild. Captain Zerath appeared at the arena entrance, scales showing actual pride. The council is impressed. They want to expand human integration training across all coalition stations. Because we got destroyed? Karach asked. Because you survived, Zerath corrected. 4 days ago, contact with humans sent beings to medical. Today, you fought alongside them, against them, and walked away. That's progress. He was right. 4 days ago, my brain had reclassified humans as extinction events. Today, I'd fought 2 of them and lived, learned, grown. My arm didn't hurt anymore, not from the fight, not from the memory. Sylvia extended her hand. Friends. I took it. So did Karach. Friends, we agreed. Marcus grinned. Good, because Ambassador Chen just approved 17 more humans for coalition service. You 2 are going to help train everyone else. What? You heard him, Sylvia laughed. Welcome to the I Survived Fighting Humans program. You're now teaching assistants. This is punishment, Karach said. This is opportunity, Zerath corrected. The galaxy is changing. Humanity is here. And you 2 are going to help everyone else understand what that means. The crowd was still cheering. The council was already drafting new training protocols. And somewhere in the medical bay, 17 beings were watching the match replay, learning what we'd learned. Humans weren't monsters, weren't invincible, weren't impossible to understand. They were just human, prepared, adaptable, dangerous when necessary, but also fair, honorable, willing to teach instead of dominate. I'd slapped a human during sparring and spent 3 days in medical, but I'd also spent 4 days learning from her. And today I'd stood in an arena with 10,000 spectators and proven that humans and the rest of the galaxy could work together, even if together sometimes meant getting our asses kicked educationally. Threx? Sylvia asked. You okay? I looked at her, at Marcus, at Karach, at the cheering crowd. Yeah, I said, meaning it. I think I am. The medics had finally cleared me for duty. Turns out I'd been ready all along. I just needed to learn how to fall first. So that's how I went from slapping a human to becoming a combat training assistant. If you enjoyed watching me get my scales handed to me, hit that like button. Subscribe if you want to hear more stories about humans being terrifyingly competent. And comment below. Have you ever underestimated someone and immediately regretted it? Because I have, for 3 days, in medical. Thanks for sticking with me through this disaster. See you in the next one.